can say uninvolved kind of parenting, where there is no love, where there is no strictness, there's complete neglect. Uh, Nobody telling you what's right and wrong. Nobody is giving you love. Nobody is bothered about you.
And which one is the best parenting style for their kids?
The parents can do is to tell them, to make them understand if you're facing a failure also, then how to deal with the failure. What are the issues that coming when the body hormones are changing? The children are not aware about them. The children are not being talked about it.
And what could be other reasons that kids are not able to share their feelings or they cannot share something they are going through in their lives?
Obviously, household chores are left because both went to their own work. Now, they have to cook the food together, they have to clean the home together. So, when the child is seeing both the parents working together, child themselves will learn at very early stage.
बच्चे को उनको बाउंड्रीज क्रिएट करनी है, उनको बच्चे को डिसिप्लिन रखना है, लेकिन वो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. तो हाउ टू हैंडल दोज काइंड ऑफ किड्स?
अच्छा, पापा चाहते थे मैं इंजीनियर बनूं, पर मैं इंजीनियर नहीं बन पाया तो मैं बच्चे को बनाऊंगा। आप हर डिमांड नहीं पूरी कर सकते बच्चे की, क्यों करनी है? कल को वो आपको बोलेगा कि मुझे हेलीकॉप्टर चाहिए, तो आप हेलीकॉप्टर ले आओगे?
Hey Mansha, thank you for joining my channel today.
थैंक यू। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर हैविंग मी हियर।
My pleasure. Before we start the discussion, I would like you to explain a little bit about yourself, what you're doing currently, what inspired you to pursue a career into psychology. So, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so hi, myself, Mansha Grover. I am basically an RCI licensed psychologist in child guidance and psychology, child guidance and counseling, basically. And what motivated me to come into psychology field is when I was doing my bachelor's in education. I was studying child psychology over there, and intriguing part was when I was studying theories, because a lot of things were what I studied, and it was quite familiar to what I experienced in my childhood. And later, when I started teaching as a teacher, I was teacher for 2 years. I just saw the similar thing happening with now generation as well. So I felt like though they need a clear guidance, and I just got that idea, they are very much connected to me. I can be a good counselor. I'm a good listener to children. So why not let's go ahead with this field? And I did my master's in psychology, and then after completing my master's in psychology, I thought to go ahead with the license thing. Then I'll be officially from the government. I'll have the license to do my practice. So that's how I landed up here. Yeah.
Okay, great. So basically, you are into child counseling.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you mentioned that you were also inspired by your childhood, what happened and all. So was there any triggering moment, anything that specifically happened that you were like, maybe I should do this, like I should pursue this career?
So, it's like we come from a family that has this kind of very strict rules and regulations. Do this, not that. The bottom was like, okay, this is what is right for the society, and you have to be like this. Okay. So when I was a child, uh, what made me think was like, I have my parents, I can talk to them. Why can't I share? And this thought came later when I was studying the psychology. It was not initially when I was in my childhood, but yes, this thought came that why can't be I very much frank with my parents?
Yeah.
Whatever thoughts are going into my mind, मैं अपने पेरेंट्स को जाके बोल सकती हूँ. I have to be that much comfortable. They are the safe boundary. In psychology, there's an inner circle kind of a thing, and in that my inner circle, my parents come. Why can't I share? So this realization happened little later when I was in psychology, and that's why in B.Ed I had this kind of a thing. No, this is not only my problem; it is everyone's problem. And when I started teaching, It was not in my mind, this thing that no, it's just everyone's problem. It was really everyone's problem. I was able to see realistically that it is not my problem only. So a little later, I thought let's take it, very seriously, take a serious step and continue with this RCI license thing. And yeah, two, three things which usually happens is like career guidance, Niyota, because our parents are not that much, career oriented or career wise educated to give us that kind of career guidance knowledge. So that's what also students in class 11th and 12th also faces. So initially, yes, as I was ending my schooling and starting my own career, later educational time period, I realized no, I needed a proper guidance. Being the elder kind of a sibling to my sister. So I didn't had any kind of a guidance. She should be having it. So yeah. So these were two, three things that अपने हम पेरेंट्स को बात नहीं कर सकते, खुल के हम चीजें नहीं बता सकते. एंड ऑब्वियसली करियर का रहता है कि देयर शुड बी अ राइट पर्सन टू गाइड द करेक्ट गाइडेंस. सो यस, these two things literally mattered at that point of time.
Yeah. And one thing you mentioned is like your parents were strict, I'll tell. And what could be other reasons that kids are not able to share their feelings or they cannot share something they are going through in their lives?
Oh, it's like two things would happen. One is obviously the strictness.
Yeah.
Okay. And if the parents are completely strict, the kids find very tough to communicate their feelings. And one, when you're too free and you're not stopping your kids to understand what's wrong, what's not wrong, this needs to be into some boundaries. Then also kids don't realize.
Mm.
Okay. And then also they create so much kind of a blunders that they feel over kind of an independence that they have, and due to which they feel, okay, if we have everything, then also if we'll tell our parents, they might, at one point of time when they get to know about all these things, they will do come and talk to us and will try to stop us until and unless they don't reach to that point where the things are completely out of their hand. They know that till that time the parents won't interfere.
Mm.
So obviously too much strictness and too much, independence to the child, both of these things do make the child feel like not going up to their parents and talk to them. So I feel like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you have mentioned two of the parenting styles, that is authoritative and permissive. So I've heard different
Yeah.
types of parenting styles, authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. I would like you to explain
Yeah.
these parenting styles in simple terms and which one is the best parenting style for their kids.
See, let's take it from authoritative. And to be, if we see authoritative, in the last, the spelling in the last, we see IVE. And IVE means positive. Okay, TIVE, I connected with the positive parenting style, where we see strictness, I mean, rules or the foundation, and the love and the firmness all coming together. They're blending all together. Okay, parents know when to discipline their child. Parents know when to give the love to their child. So it's a very balanced kind of a parenting style that we see. Coming to the authoritarian in itself says that the rules are to be stand out, the firmness needs to be stand out, okay, the strictness needs to be stand out. It should be not much more of love or freedom or warmness to the child. So we know that when the child is growing, the child do requires love, do requires strictness. So in authoritarian, it is much more of strictness that we see. Okay, that's what happens in authoritarian. And when we talk about permissive means it's more of love, warmness. It's just giving complete independence, as I said, complete independence to the child. Child can do whatever, whether right, wrong, no idea until and unless it reaches to a very very, tough situation where the child themselves cannot handle those things. Okay, and there are no rules into it. Completely no rules, no strictness, nothing into it. You're not telling your child what's right, what's wrong. And then comes ignorant, or you can say uninvolved kind of parenting, where there is no love, where there is no strictness, there's complete neglect. Uh, Nobody telling you what's right and wrong. Nobody's giving you love. Nobody's bothered about you. So yes, this is what the parenting styles we have. And the best parenting style, I believe, according to me, is obviously authoritative, where there is a balance, where there is strictness, where there is love, both at the same time, not at the same time, I'll say, but yeah, situationally. It completely depends on what the situation parent faces, and accordingly, they can decide, yes, this is the situation where the love needs to be taken care of, and this is the situation where the strictness needs to be there, rules needs to be followed. So yeah, parents can decide. That's the boundary the parents can decide. So yeah.
Yeah.
And in India also, you will see that much more of authoritarian kind of parentings we see. It's more of rules and less of love. So that's the most whole reason where we see the children are much more scared to not uh, tell about their feelings or issues to the parents. So I believe much more authoritative kind of a parenting style should be used, so that the parents can get familiar to their own child and can understand about their self issues, anxiety, depression, or the societal thoughts if they are having. So this thing can only happen when you have authoritative kind of a parenting style, when you have a full-fledged, bond with your own child. So yeah.
And how parents can build a good rapport with their kids that they are comfortable sharing anything they want. Is there any activities or like for example, these days parents are very busy, like both are working, so they are not able to give time to their
Mm.
kids. They are getting ignored. So what are the things that they can do?
I'll start with giving one example. I was seeing this reel. I think you might have also gone through this. That in Japan, whenever both the parents come from their job, they have this um, kind of a box kept on their dining table where they have to submit their mobile phones, because as soon as you will come back, you will not see the phone. So the phones are submitted now. Now, what's the next step for both of the parents? Obviously, household chores are left because both went to their own work. Now, they have to cook the food together, they have to clean the home together. So, when the child is seeing both the parents working together, child themselves will learn at very early stage.
Yeah.
So that video when I saw, it was so inspiring that at very young age, that child was around 2 to 3 years old. At very young age, that child was so smart and started helping the parents automatically without parent, telling, "Come, help us, come, let's be together." Child understood, whether male or whether female. There was no gender biasness or nothing like a societal norms out there. What a beautiful video it was. And it stated that yes, number one, today if we see, there's a lot of work which happening on the mobile phones, laptop, in fact, people think let's go back home and then we'll complete a work, right? They think like that, and they say let's take the baggage at home and then we'll do. They don't feel like, "Ki, let's complete it here. Why to carry the baggage and we'll spend our time with the family."
Yeah.
They say, "Ki, let's take the baggage." So that's what the mentality is. That mentality needs to change. They need to understand that the family needs to get the time. And obviously, when we see Saturdays and Sundays, when out of all the 5 weeks, you get 2 days off or Sundays off. What most of the time females or males or parents do is they go and hang out with their own friends rather than hanging around with each other, which is Again, a big question mark. We generally don't get family time. So when we get the days off, when we have this time, it's like to plan something, to go on a picnic with the kids, to have a communication time, to have a play time. There are a lot of cognitive games nowadays coming, which parents can sit and teach their child. Earlier also, in our time also, there was business, there was mechanics, there was ludo, there was a lot of indoor activities that were there, and parents used to sit and spend time and create that bond. But now I think after COVID, with the phone or the online studying and everything has taken so much space that they have forgotten that yes, something out of the phone or out of the laptop, something exists. So yes, they need to change their mindset and understand that communication is the key to every solution to the problem. Yeah.
And as you mentioned, uninvolved parenting, kids are like emotionally ignored, or parents are emotionally unavailable for their kids. So, how does that affect a child mentally as well as physically?
See, if you're not present with your child emotionally, definitely how will the child will learn about the emotional aspect? When at the early stage, you will not tell the child, okay, when you are laughing, this is the happy face. When you are sad, when you are not laughing, when you are little, your face is very dim, it's a sad time. When you are getting, irritated and you're shouting, that's the angry face. When you don't name the emotions, child will not understand. So it is very important to have the emotional regulation. It is very important to let your child feel every emotion. And parents need to be there, not physically, if they're not present physically much, but yes, they need to be there mentally, emotionally with the child to make the child understand what's right and what's wrong. That's how the guidance can be provided. And if you're very much open to your child, that the child can come and speak to you about anything, it has to be the way you completely, give the, uh, you can say kindly what you communicate to the child, how you communicate to the child. If the child is coming and talking to you about the bad grades that the child has received, and if you start the child, or if you tell the child very angrily, will the child next time come and tell you that मम्मा पापा मेरे नंबर कम आए, या वो आके आपसे कोई और बात शेयर करेंगे? क्योंकि आपका फर्स्ट रिएक्शन तो गुस्से गुस्से में निकल गया. Rather than you would have tell them, yeah, so you gave your 100%, you put your best efforts, but see where few things have gone wrong. It's okay. You can do it better next time. So they will feel ki, okay, our efforts are being praised, our emotions are being seen. They are telling us how to handle it. And yes, we can work ahead better. We can give the better results next time. So nowadays, parents, in fact, that's what I was telling you with myself. My parents never heard me. They never try to talk to me. They never try to understand me. What are the issues that are coming? So that are the reasons. That's why we say that the children need to be heard. पेरेंट्स बात नहीं सुनते, बच्चों की आधी अधूरी बात सुनते हैं और आधी अधूरी बात पर रिएक्ट कर देते हैं. तो वो इम्पोर्टेंट है कि वो पूरी बात सुने, समझे, उनके इमोशंस को समझे. और अगर आप बच्चे के इमोशंस को नहीं समझोगे, तो दे डोंट कि वो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. Nowadays children are doing lot of those things जो हमें पता भी नहीं. Suicidal rates are going high. Anxiety and depression cases are coming up. So why are these cases coming up? There are some reasons behind it. They doubt themselves. They have a confidence issue. They're completely dependent on, others. They don't know how to emotionally regulate also.
Hmm.
So that's the only thing the parents can do is to tell them, to make them understand if you're facing a failure also, then how to deal with the failure. It is rather than shouting and telling them and comparing them with others, that won't resolve anything. That will make the things worse. Situation will go more and more worse. So it is
Absolutely.
very important to let the child communicate. You need to be a good listener. You need to be a good guider to the child. You need to be much more like a facilitator to the child. If you will be a parent at every moment, at every developmental stage of the child, then how will the child will learn, and to whom the child will rely? Every time teachers cannot be there. Every time the friends cannot be right. So only the parents are the one right source, I believe, who can guide them at each and every stage very correctly.
जैसे कि मंशा आपने बोला कि बच्चे कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, यू नेवर नो, अगर आप उनसे कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर रहे हो, इफ दे आर नॉट ओपन विथ यू। लेकिन व्हाट आई हैव सीन कि हमारे टाइम पे माँ बाप बच्चों को पीट देते थे, डांट देते थे, लेकिन
हम्म।
बच्चे इतना ज्यादा मतलब उसको इमोशनली नहीं लेते थे। लेकिन अभी जो जनरेशन में हो रहा है कि अगर कोई स्टेटमेंट भी बोल दिया तो ऐसी न्यूज आती है कि बच्चे ने सुसाइड कर लिया। आई हैव सीन दैट न्यूज ऑल्सो। तो
हम्म।
माँ बाप कैसे रेजिलियंट चाइल्ड रेज कर सकते हैं या मेंटली स्ट्रॉन्ग चाइल्ड रेज कर सकते हैं? व्हाट आर द टिप्स फॉर दैट?
I believe to be the communication needs to be more open. I believe when we were kids, our communication was never open. Too much open communication was never always done. Not on any topic. If you talk about grades are the very I'll say if I rank the problems of the kids, grades are the lowest in my ranking. Grades are not a big of the issues nowadays. But what are the issues that coming when the body hormones are changing? The children are not aware about them. The children are not being talked about it. Secondly, gender issues are coming. They are not familiar with their own body, whether they accept themselves as a girl, whether they accept them as boy or not. Now these issues are coming. If you see, they are not in much of the scene, but yes, they are the issues. Grades are issues, but in terms of grades are also in terms of अच्छा पापा चाहते थे मैं इंजीनियर बनूं पर मैं इंजीनियर नहीं बन पाया तो मैं बच्चे को बनाऊंगा. So
करेक्ट।
they are trying to put their own ambition onto their child, and then they compare, and then the grade whole scenario comes, and that's how the whole कि अच्छा मुझे कंपटीशन में भागना है, मुझे कंपटीशन जीतना है, और अगर मैं नहीं जीता माय पेरेंट्स विल बी डिसअपॉइंटेड. ये तो ग्रेड्स का एस्पेक्ट है. और जिनको अपने जेंडर्स का इशू है, दिस इज वेरी न्यू कमिंग अप, वेरी coming up generation are getting much more aware about their gender. They now know what is LGBTQI plus. हमें नहीं पता था, और हम अपने पेरेंट्स को भी नहीं बोलते थे. हमें किन्नर रिक्शा पता होता था, बट कभी हमने किन्नर को लेके हमारे घर में आज बात नहीं कर सकते. आज भी हम LGBTQI प्लस को लेके बात नहीं कर सकते अपने घरों में. इट्स नॉट एन ओपन डिस्कशन टू टॉक अबाउट. बट दीज आर द इश्यूज. जब बच्चे आपसे पूछ रहे हैं, यू कैन नॉट रन अवे. यू कैन नॉट टेल देम कि हम बात नहीं करेंगे. You cannot tell them to avoid the situation. There are things, there are some techniques, or not techniques, it's only the communication. Right words to choose at the right time to describe anything to the child. I know telling about gender, or telling about them any relationship kind of an issues, it becomes really tough to talk to kids. वो एक चीज की चार बातें और पूछते हैं, तो मुश्किल होता है पेरेंट्स को कि हम कैसे समझाएं. बट दे नीड टू गेट आंसर. दे आर क्यूरियस. वी वर लाइक अच्छा ठीक है हमने इतना पढ़ लिया, हमारे लिए काफी है. वी नेवर थॉट अपॉन इट, बट टुडे किड्स डू थॉट, थिंक अबाउट इट. दे गिव अ थॉट. कैन आई हैव अ वाटर प्लीज? सॉरी. So as I was saying, parents nowadays have to choose the words very wisely, very correctly, to explain these kind of topics to children. ओके, ये टॉपिक्स ऐसे हैं जो बहुत सेंसिटिव हैं. जितने भी सेंसिटिव टॉपिक्स बच्चों से रिलेटेड है, उनके लिए चाहिए बहुत करेक्ट डिक्शनरी, बहुत करेक्ट वोकैबुलरी, ताकि वो बच्चों बच्चे जो है गलत चीजें ना समझे. फिर वो कुछ समझते हैं, गूगल करते हैं, एंड दे फिगर आउट समथिंग एल्स, समथिंग न्यू पॉप्स आउट. तो अकॉर्डिंग टू द एज उनके लिए एक वर्ड डिक्शनरी, डेफिनेटली वर्ड्स होने चाहिए, एक वर्ड वोकैब होनी चाहिए पेरेंट्स के पास, ताकि वो इंटरेक्ट कर सके। जो वो पूछ रहे हैं अवॉइड मत करो, बताओ उन्हें, वरना वो गूगल करेंगे। So
हम्म।
that is the one thing that the parents need to be very much aware about, कि वो आपसे जो पूछ रहे हैं आप बताओ. In fact, with the teachers also, if they are asking something related to the syllabus, yes, do tell them. क्योंकि बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे होते हैं जो आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स, आउट ऑफ द सिलेबस क्लास में पूछ लेते हैं, which is where teachers get offended and they say कि नहीं हमें हमारा syllabus खत्म करना है, let us complete the syllabus, and they take that question and they tell the child कि ठीक है बाद में पूछ लेंगे. So that needs to be taken care. Um, what else the parents can keep in mind while have communication with their child, and there should be no gap, is understanding your child more. Have a constant communication, asking how was your day. Later in your night when you're going to sleep, have a conversation. Try to, narrate stories to your kids. Try to be much more, comprehensive about the situations that's happening. So they get aware, they understand, अच्छा ऐसे हो रहा है, ऐसे नहीं करना. Try to tell them कि what's right and what's wrong to them. In fact, play the games, और हाँ yeah right, play the games accordingly only. आप ऐसे games खेलो जो बच्चों को समझ में आए, बच्चों को लगे कि okay we are getting something out of it. बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स क्या करते हैं, रोल प्ले करने लगते हैं घर में ही, whenever they get a time. So they like in a 5 minute scene they try to create कि अच्छा उनका बच्चा, उनके बच्चे को एक रोल दे देते हैं, फादर बिकम समथिंग, मदर बिकम समथिंग, एंड दे ट्राई टू narrate the stories before the sleep, so that the child understands and can go to the sleep very easily. So yeah, again, communication, narrating the stories, talking about the moral, uh moral stories, these are few things that needs to be taken into the consideration.
ओके। एंड जैसे कि आपने कम्युनिकेशन बोला, आपने बोला कि बच्चों को समझाना चाहिए, लेकिन कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि बच्चे इतने ज्यादा स्टबर्न होते हैं कि उनको सुनना नहीं होता है, बहुत सी चीजें जिद करने लगते हैं। एंड पेरेंटिंग नीड्स अ लॉट ऑफ पेशेंस, बहुत पेशेंस चाहिए,
Exactly.
बहुत कामनेस चाहिए। तो पेरेंट्स, मतलब अगर बच्चा बहुत जिद्दी है तो कैसे हैंडल करे उस बच्चे को? उनको बाउंड्रीज क्रिएट करनी है, उनको बच्चे को डिसिप्लिन रखना है, लेकिन वो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। तो how to handle those kind of kids?
Again, parents can guide the child here. It's just the guidance. Parents just provide the guide. And this kind of attitude or this kind of behavior usually happens when the child reaches to teenager. Okay, when the child reaches teenagers age, then we see usually these kinds of attitudinal, or you can say behavioral issues. बट एट वेरी अर्ली एज अगर हम बच्चे से कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, बच्चे को समझा रहे हैं, बच्चे को एक्टिविटीज करा रहे हैं, यूजुअली ड्राइंग्स के थ्रू या प्ले के थ्रू, जब बच्चे के साथ खेल रहे हो और आप समझा रहे हो उन्हें, तो डेफिनेटली उसमें आप ये चीज समझा सकते हो. बट लिटिल लेटर व्हेन दे यू नो come into the teenagers, let them explore because they want exploration. And when they'll fall, they'll automatically understand. अब पेरेंट्स ऑब्वियसली ये नहीं कर सकते कि वो जाके बच्चे को रोक,
हम्म।
राइट, दे कैन नॉट से नो. आज आप नो बोल दो किसी बच्चे को, वो सबसे पहले पूछेगा क्यों, आप मना क्यों कर रहे हो, आप क्यों, हम आप चाहते हो कि हमारे कोई दोस्त ना हो, हमारी दोस्ती खराब हो जाए. पेरेंट्स को ये चीजें सुनने को मिलती है, और पेरेंट्स का यूजुअली यही रहता है कि अब हम क्या करें मैम, ये तो हमारी सुनते ही नहीं है, right? So I usually generally say to the parents is that you explain, you tell them, okay, this is you have to do, these are the pros, these are the cons of your situation. If you fall, the blame, everything comes to you. I have guided you. And that's how, if the child understands, okay, and if the child does not understand, the child will automatically fall and learn. So that's how the behavior gets attuned. Behavior improves. Behavior changes when the child learns from its own experiences. We also, when we were younger, until and unless आर until and unless we don't, मतलब हम वो एक्टिविटी नहीं करते थे, तब तक हमें ऐसा लगता था कि नहीं यार अभी हमें मजा नहीं आया। हमारे पेरेंट्स मना करते रहते थे, बट until and unless हम वो नहीं करेंगे हमें सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं मिलता। तो हम जब तक वो करेंगे नहीं, सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं आता। आप कितना भी गाइड कर लो, आप कोई भी थेरेपी लगा लो, आप किसी तरीके का भी उनको समझा लो, आप कुछ भी इन्वॉल्व कर लो, अनटिल एंड अनलेस बच्चे सेटिस्फाइड नहीं होते खुद करके, उनको समझ में नहीं आता। सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। आप बोल दो कि हम पेरेंट्स को हम सिर्फ गाइड करना सिखा सकते हैं, उनको एक टेक्निक बोल देंगे टाइम आउट। टाइम आउट में क्या होगा, लेट देम डू। उनको आप मतलब एक अच्छी चीज सिखाने के लिए कभी पनिशमेंट देनी पड़ती है, तो उनको करने दो, वो पनिशमेंट ही बन जाती है, एंड थ्रू पनिशमेंट उनको चीजें समझ में आती है। दैट्स हाउ आई बिलीव कि एवरी चाइल्ड लर्न्स।
सो जैसे कि आपने बोला कि लेट देम फॉल एंड लर्न, लेकिन बहुत से पेरेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं कि उन्हें हर चीज में गाइड करना होता है, कहीं कोई मिस्टेक ना कर दें या बच्चे हर्ट ना हो जाए, इसलिए बहुत ज्यादा गाइडेंस, बहुत ज्यादा प्रोटेक्टिवनेस आ जाती है पेरेंट्स। तो वो चीज कैसे अवॉइड करनी चाहिए पेरेंट्स को?
पेरेंट्स कैन बी प्रोटेक्टिव, parents will be protective, and parents should be protective. It's okay. That's what I believe parents are for. If they will not protect us, then who will protect us, right? So I believe let them do their job. They will protect us. They will tell us what to do, what not to do. They will guide us all the way around. But it is again, it's the choice of the child. If the child is listening and understanding what the parent is guiding and doing according to their parents and understanding, okay, uh, अगर मैं ये नहीं सुनूं अपने पेरेंट्स की तो ये रिजल्ट हो सकता है, so it's fine. Let's listen to the parent. What's harm in it? Until and unless parents are not too involved into the child's life. If the parent is getting too much involved at every, at every stage, if the child is requiring the parents' guidance and not exploring and not trying to do the things, then it becomes like, अच्छा ठीक है, मेरे पास पेरेंट्स हैं, मैं पेरेंट्स से पूछ सकता हूँ और मेरे को गाइडेंस मिलती रहेगी। So it's kind, it will create a dependency. So child will not able to, have that trust on themselves only. So the child needs to have the trust on himself or herself, right? So let the, in fact, when the child is developing, when the child is growing, let them explore, let them take small decisions, and how they can do it. If they are choosing any dress, let them choose. If they are choosing any shoes, let them do it. Let them do these small minor decisions for their own life, so that they feel that yes, whatever decision I am making for myself, I am doing it right. They will take stand for themselves. So they will learn. So these small learnings from initial stages, they need to get it so that they don't create a dependency on the on parents, and they will understand. Okay, अगर मम्मी पापा ये बता रहे हैं, मेरे माइंड में ये आ रहा है, let's take a middle ground. Let's figure out a middle ground if there is any. So they will take a middle ground. They will use their own thinking also, and they will use the parents' guidance and will try to figure out the middle ground. Obviously, you have to make a problem solver as a, your child needs to be a problem solver, not giving problems to you or giving problems to himself or herself. So you have to create a child who can solve their own problem. It is not creating a dependency. It is just taking guidance from each and every one and figuring out the middle one. That's kind of a parenting I believe the parents needs to do. Yeah.
Okay. And how does that affect overprotectiveness affects child self-esteem and confidence?
Affects a lot. You are getting overindulged. You are making the child feel, there is a doubt in हिमसेल्फ कि यार मैं ये कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं। ओवर प्रोटेक्टिव होते हैं, मतलब अगर आप ओवर प्रोटेक्शन दे रहे हो और आपको मतलब यानी कि आपको आपके बच्चे पे डाउट है ना, तभी आप ज्यादा ओवर प्रोटेक्टिव हो रहे हो अपने बच्चे के लिए। क्यों हो रहा है? लेट देम एक्सप्लोर, लेट देम लर्न। आप चाह रहे हो कि आपका बच्चा डिपेंडेंट हो जाए आप पे, विच इज वेरी रॉन्ग। वरना अगर आपका बच्चा एक टाइम पर आप पे डिपेंडेंट हो जाएगा, तो वो एक एज के बाद हर चीज पे, हर चीज के लिए आप पे डिपेंडेंट, विच इज वेरी रॉन्ग। क्यों करना है? लेट देम टेक देयर ओन डिसीजंस। इनफैक्ट अगर स्ट्रीम भी चूज कर रहे हैं तो करने दो ना उन्हें। लेट देम डू दैट थिंग ऑल्सो। क्यों आपको इंजीनियरिंग में भेजना है? क्यों आपको अपने बच्चे को डॉक्टर बनाना है? उनको नहीं करना, फिर भी आप उनको बोल रहे हो कि नहीं, आप फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री बायो लो तो आप डॉक्टर में जाओगे, आप फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री लो और मैथ्स लो तो आपको इंजीनियरिंग में। क्यों? वाई? आई आस्क वाई। लेट देम डू दी स्मॉल डिसीजंस, लेट देम लर्न, let them fall. Otherwise, you are making your child coming into that low confidence and self-doubting and anxious level उनका बढ़ जाएगा कि एक एज के बाद में उनको लगेगा कि यार हम कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या? They will be questioning their own strengths and own power. And why? Why do you want them to make themselves feel कि हम ये कर सकते भी हैं कि नहीं? सो ओवर प्रोटेक्शन कुछ पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट नहीं देता आपके बच्चे को, वो
हम्म।
आपको नेगेटिव ही फील कराएगा। आप गाइडेंस दो ना। मैं हमारी पूरी कॉन्वर्सेशन में आपको एक ही चीज बोली है कि ओ कम्युनिकेशन इज द की। आप गाइडेंस दो, आप उनको सही गलत बता सकते हो, उनको ढूंढने दो, एक मिडिल ग्राउंड ढूंढने दो उनको। खुद प्रॉब्लम प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर आप किसी को बना नहीं सकते। प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर हम इनिशियली खुद बनते हैं जब प्रॉब्लम्स आती है। हम चार जगह से बात करते हैं तो हमें एक आइडिया मिलता है और हम कहते हैं कि कुछ मिडिल ग्राउंड हो सकता है, एंड देन वी थिंक। दैट्स हाउ आवर ब्रेन वर्क्स, एंड दैट्स हाउ वी रीच टू द सॉल्यूशन। एंड दैट्स व्हाट मेक्स, आई थिंक, लर्निंग पॉसिबिलिटीज जो हमारी इतनी ओपन होती है वो तभी होती है जब हमें प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना आता है। सो ओवर प्रोटेक्शन will always create blunders for the children. It will not create any positive aspect for the children. Yeah.
And when too many options are given to kids, like too many options, too many choices, materialistic thing हो गई, बहुत ज्यादा पेरेंट्स करते हैं कि whatever the kid will demand, they'll just bring it to them. हर चीज सुनी जाती है, बहुत freedom है. Then how that kind of parenting affects a child?
Oh, that affects a lot. I think आप हर डिमांड नहीं पूरी कर सकते बच्चे की, क्यों करनी है? My question to the people who do give each and every or the smallest of the smallest thing when asked by your child and you're providing it, what are you doing? You're making your child go into a very dangerous situation, not only your child but you yourself. कल को वो आपको बोलेगा कि मुझे हेलीकॉप्टर चाहिए, तो आप हेलीकॉप्टर ले आओगे? जस्ट एन एग्जाम्पल। ले आओगे क्या? अगर आपके केपेबिलिटीज में नहीं है तो डेफिनेटली नहीं ला पाओगे ना।
Hmm.
सो गिव देम अ रियलिटी चेक, शो व्हाट्स द रियल वर्ल्ड इज। In real world, there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of hardship. There are people who come from those family backgrounds who initially have not got anything, but they learned from their hard work. They understood what the right situation is and how the step by step we need to move ahead in life. So it is very important uh, to not give everything to them, like प्लाटर में सजा के हर चीज नहीं देनी चाहिए। लेट देम फाइट फॉर, गिव देम स्मॉल एक्टिविटीज। जैसे मान लो बच्चा आया और होमवर्क करने के लिए मना कर रहा है कि मैं होमवर्क नहीं कर रहा, मुझे आप पहले टॉय दो या मुझे आप पहले खेलने जाने दो। सो जस्ट कीप दैट कि पहले आप अपना काम करोगे फिर आपको मैं पक्का जाने दूंगी। आपको इतने इतने देर में आप अगर होमवर्क खत्म कर लोगे तब आप चले जाना। Have that bargaining kind of a thing or a barter system like of a thing or a token economy कि अगर आपने ये किया तो फिर मैं आपको, अगर अच्छा आपको चॉकलेट खाना है तो आपको चॉकलेट मिलेगी, अगर आपने आज अच्छा काम किया तो आपको ये मिलेगा। द चाइल्ड विल हैव द अंडरस्टैंडिंग, ओके अच्छा ऐसा है, अगर मैं ऐसा करूंगा तो मुझे ये रिवॉर्ड मिल सकता है। तो यानी कि दिस इज, उनको फिर गुड बिहेवियर और बैड बिहेवियर भी पता चलेगा कि अच्छा ये गुड बिहेवियर होता है, ये बैड बिहेवियर होता है। बैड बिहेवियर होगा तो मेरे को ये डिसएडवांटेज है कि मेरे को खेलने नहीं दिया, खेलने नहीं जाने देंगे, मेरे को जो टॉय चाहिए वो नहीं मिलेगा। तो उनको वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्रिएट होती है।
और ऐसी कौन सी चीजें होती हैं कि पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि हम अपने बच्चों के लिए बेस्ट कर रहे हैं, दे थिंक दे आर डूइंग इट इन अ राइट वे, लेकिन वो बहुत ही गलत स्टाइल है पेरेंटिंग का, वो चीजें नहीं करनी चाहिए।
आई बिलीव they believe that everything that they are doing, um, whether giving them the guidance, or whether giving everything, as you said, कि हर वो छोटी छोटी चीज जो पेरेंट्स दे देते हैं, whether they require it or not, वो चीज बहुत गलत है। हर चीज बच्चे के लिए रिक्वायर नहीं हो सकती। आपके पॉकेट उतनी अलाउ नहीं कर रही, पर आप सब कुछ ला के दे रहे हो। बच्चा अच्छा खुद आके अगर बच्चा कहता है कि मेरे दोस्त के पास ये चीज है मुझे भी चाहिए, एंड देन ऑल्सो इफ यू गिविंग, दैट इज ऑल्सो रॉन्ग। फिर उनको लगेगा कि अच्छा ओके, आवर पेरेंट्स आर सो मच एबल कि वो हमें हर चीज प्रोवाइड कर सके। सो लेट देम लर्न, लेट देम ओन थिंग्स। उनको अगर कोई चीज लेनी है तो उनको सिखाओ कि हार्ड वर्क करके लिया जाता है, वरना उनको हार्ड वर्क नहीं पता चलेगा। अगर आप उनको सिंपली दे दोगे तो उनको हार्ड वर्क नहीं पता चलेगा, एंड दैट्स हाउ दे विल लर्न। आगे जब उनको अपना करियर बनाना है, फ्यूचर बनाना है, तो आगे उनको लगेगा कि एवरीथिंग इज इजी। तो इनिशियली जब हम उनको समझाते हैं कि इफ यू वांट टू अर्न समथिंग, इफ यू वांट टू गेट दिस, यू हैव टू अर्न, यू हैव टू ओन इट, दैट यस यू आर डिजर्विंग एंड यू कैन हैव इट। तो आप उनकी हर छोटी छोटी डिमांड्स को पूरी मत करो, हर जिद को पूरी करने की जरूरत नहीं है जो पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि हम करें। ज्यादा प्यार देने की जरूरत नहीं है, ज्यादा प्रोटेक्टिव होने की जरूरत नहीं है, हर समय अपने बच्चे को लेके आप एक्सक्यूजेस मत दो। लेट देम अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर उन्होंने गलती की है तो एक्सेप्टेंस भी कुछ है, वरना बच्चे एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते। और एक्सेप्टेंस का इशू आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ अस को है। हम लोग एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करते अपने सिचुएशंस को। अच्छा हमसे कोई गलती हुई है, इट्स नॉट इजी टू गो एंड से सॉरी, नहीं बोलते हम, इतने इजीली सॉरी नहीं बोलते। इनफैक्ट अगर कभी हमारे पेरेंट्स से सॉरी, मतलब हमारे पेरेंट्स से गलती हो जाती है, तो क्या वो हमें कभी उन्होंने बच्चों को, अपने बच्चों को सॉरी बोला है? नहीं बोलते। दे ऑल्सो फील लाइक कि यार हम तो पेरेंट्स हैं, हम तो बड़े हैं, हम क्यों सॉरी बोले। बट दे विल लर्न, दे विल अंडरस्टैंड कि यार अच्छा ओके, हमें अपनी गलतियों की जिम्मेदारी लेनी है। और अगर हम अपनी गलतियों की जिम्मेदारी नहीं लेंगे, हाउ विल वी बिकम द बेटर वर्जन ऑफ आवर सेल्फ?
करेक्ट।
And then another thing, they compare with other students, with other competitors. Why? What is the requirement to compare? If you want to compare also, let the child be compared by themselves. उनकी previous performance को compare करो ना उनकी आज की performance से, so that they become the better version of themselves later. So never do the comparison, never give them everything directly. Let them fight for it. Let them understand, let them own it. Then they will understand, okay, this is something which I need to realize. And over the time period, जब वो खुद पेरेंट्स बनेंगे उनको समझ में आएगा इट वाज नॉट इजी फॉर देयर पेरेंट्स टू टैकल अस। सो वो बहुत लेटर समझ में आए, तो इट्स बेटर कि पहले आ जाए, पहले चीजें समझ ले, एंड देन दे डोंट गेट इनटू एनी मोर इश्यूज इन देयर लाइफ।
Absolutely. And one tip you want to give to all the parents?
um one tip that I will give is be a good listener, be a good observer, because your child give lot of hints, बहुत hints देते हैं आपको, वो बताने की भी कोशिश करेंगे। उनकी ड्राइंग्स देखो, उनकी हैंड राइटिंग देखो, रोज उनके बिहेवियर को ऑब्जर्व करो, whether if they are teachers in the school, whether the parents, just observe your kids activities every day. Be a good listener, be a good observer. Everything is right in front of your eyes. You will see the problem right in front of your eyes. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप अपने बच्चे को नहीं जानते। एक माँ जब अपने बच्चे को जन्म देती है, वो जो एक अटैचमेंट होता है कि मेरा बच्चा मुसीबत में है, या मेरा बच्चा मुसीबत में नहीं है, या मेरा बच्चा उदास है, माँ को हर चीज का एहसास होता है। वो कनेक्टिविटी है, वो कनेक्टिविटी तब आती है जब वो 9 महीने बच्चे को अपने पेट में रखती है। वो कनेक्टिविटी वहां से पैदा होती है। तो माँ को पता चलता है, माँ को समझ में सारी चीजें आती है। इसीलिए आप हमेशा सुनोगे, अच्छा मेरी मम्मी को सारी चीजें पता है। या हमने हमेशा ये सुना है कि लड़कियां फादर्स के क्लोज होती हैं और लड़के मदर्स के क्लोज होते हैं।
हम्म।
देर इज, क्योंकि बाउंडे जो आप बाउंड्री बना रहे हो या जो आप बॉन्ड्स बना रहे हो अपने बच्चों के साथ ओवर द टाइम पीरियड, वो बहुत मैटर करता है। एंड तभी आपको गुड कम्युनिकेटर, गुड ऑब्जर्वर होना बहुत जरूरी है। हर छोटी छोटी चीज जो आपके बच्चे हैं ना, वो आपको कम्युनिकेट करने की पूरी कोशिश करते हैं। तो वो चीज पेरेंट्स को हमेशा ध्यान रखनी चाहिए। एंड ऑल्सो सेकेंडली, डोंट फुल्ली ट्रस्ट योर पेरेंट्स। क्या होता है, बच्चे कभी भी आपसे झूठ बोल सकते हैं, गलती उनकी होगी, पर वो आपको आके सच नहीं बोलेंगे क्योंकि उनको पता है कि हमसे कोई गलती हुई। तो इसीलिए ऑब्जर्व करना बहुत जरूरी है अपने बच्चे को हर समय। क्योंकि आई हैव सीन, पर्सनली देखा हुआ है, मैं जिस स्कूल में पढ़ाती थी, गलती बच्चे की होती है, ब्लेम टीचर पर आ जाता है।
हाँ।
एंड टीचर इज एट अ क्वेश्चनेबल मोड। आज के टाइम पे टीचर्स आर एट अ वेरी क्वेश्चनेबल मोड। हमें पता है आजकल का टाइम इतना सेफ नहीं है। बच्चे जिस तरीके से इम्पल्सिवली बिहेव कर देते हैं, दे डोंट नो व्हाट दे आर लूजिंग एट, बट पेरेंट्स नो व्हाट दे आर लूजिंग। सो डेफिनेटली इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नॉट एवर ट्रस्ट योर, एवर नहीं बट यस, इन सम सिचुएशंस, ऐसे नहीं कि ब्लाइंड ट्रस्ट या ब्लाइंड फेथ आप अपने बच्चे पे रखो। Listen to everyone and then talk to your child. Talk to your child, not scold them. It's very important to talk to them. उनको लगता है अच्छा हमसे कोई आराम से बात कर रहा है ना, पेशेंटली बात कर रहा है, कामली बात कर रहा है, तो वो उनको समझ में आता है। उनको वो डांटना या टोन, आपकी पिच, वो बहुत संभल के आज के बच्चों के साथ बात करनी पड़ती है। सो या, that's what I that's what my message is to all the parents.
Okay. So yeah, Mansha, thank you so much for this conversation. It was really an insightful conversation. I hope this helps a lot of parents out there who are going to watch this video. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me here.